Have you ever wondered what the world was like almost 2,000 years ago? Let's travel back in time to the year 100 CE. Forget everything you know about the modern world. No smartphones, no internet, no electricity. The entire global population is only around 200 million people, less than the population of Brazil today. And this world is dominated by two colossal superpowers, one in the West and one in the East. In the West, the Roman Empire is at its absolute peak. This is the era of Emperor Trajan, a ruler celebrated for his military conquests and public works. The empire stretches from the cold, misty shores of Britain all the way to the sun-baked deserts of Mesopotamia. It's a vast, multicultural state, connected by an incredible network of stone-paved roads that all famously lead to Rome. The city of Rome itself is a marvel, a bustling metropolis of over 1 million people. It's the largest city the world has ever seen. So, what was it like to live there? Well, that depended entirely on who you were. If you were one of the elite, a wealthy senator, or a patrician, life was good. You'd live in a luxurious domus, a sprawling single-family home with an open-air courtyard, beautiful mosaics, and even running water for private baths. You'd spend your days engaged in politics, overseeing your business ventures, and attending lavish dinner parties that could last for hours, complete with exotic foods and entertainment. But for the vast majority of Romans, life was a completely different story. Most people were plebeians, the common folk, and they were crammed into multi-story apartment buildings called insulae. These were often poorly constructed, dark, and incredibly crowded. Fire was a constant danger, and sanitation was a major problem. You'd be lucky to have a small, windowless room for your entire family. The streets below would be noisy and chaotic, filled with vendors shouting, wagons rattling over the cobblestones, and the smells of street food in open sewers. Life was also incredibly short. The average life expectancy was just 25 to 35 years. Disease was rampant, and infant mortality was tragically high. Because of this, people started families very young. Girls were often married by the age of 12 or 13, and boys a few years older. For the average Roman, life was a daily struggle for survival. You'd wake up at dawn, work a long day, and hope to earn enough to feed your family. Now, let's journey halfway across the world to the east, where another mighty empire is flourishing. The Han Dynasty of China. Just like Rome, the Han Dynasty is experiencing a golden age of stability and prosperity. Its territory is vast, and its influence extends across much of East Asia. The capital, Luoyang, is another magnificent city, a center of culture, politics, and learning. Life under the Han was shaped by a very different philosophy. While Rome was governed by law and military might, Han society was built on the principles of Confucianism. This philosophy emphasized social harmony, respect for elders and authority, and the importance of education. The government was run by a complex bureaucracy of officials who had to pass rigorous civil service exams to prove their merit. This system, based on knowledge rather than birthright, was revolutionary for its time. The Han Dynasty was also a hotbed of innovation. This is the period when some incredible technologies were being developed. Imagine a world without paper. The Han Chinese were pioneers in papermaking, moving on from clumsy bamboo strips and expensive silk to a much more practical and affordable writing material. This invention would eventually change the world. They also invented the wheelbarrow, a simple but brilliant device that made it much easier for a single person to transport heavy loads. This was a game changer for construction, farming, and military logistics. Han artisans were masters of their crafts, producing exquisite lacquerware, intricate silk textiles, and advanced metalwork. Their astronomical knowledge was also sophisticated, as they meticulously recorded celestial events like comets and solar eclipses. Similar to Rome, daily life for the common person in Han China was tied to the land. Most people were farmers, living in small villages and working the fields to grow millet, wheat, or rice. Their lives followed the rhythm of the seasons, from planting in the spring to harvesting in the autumn. The family was the core of society, with multiple generations often living together under one roof, guided by Confucian ideals of filial piety. So, for an average person living in 100 CE, whether in the Roman Empire or the Han Dynasty, survival was the main focus. If you weren't a farmer, you might be a craftsman, like a potter, a blacksmith, or a weaver. Or you could be a soldier, a dangerous but sometimes profitable career. Food was simple. In the Mediterranean, the diet was based on the Mediterranean triad: bread, olive oil, and wine. In China, it was centered around grains, like millet and rice, supplemented with vegetables and small amounts of meat. Disease was a constant, invisible enemy. With no understanding of germ theory, even a small cut could become infected and lead to death. Plagues could sweep through cities and countryside alike, wiping out huge portions of the population. Life was precarious, and people relied on a mixture of folk remedies, prayers to various gods, and a strong sense of community to get by. And while Rome and Han China were the two giants of this era, they weren't the only players on the world stage. Bridging the gap between them, along the vital trade routes of the Silk Road, was the Kushan Empire, based in what is now Afghanistan, Pakistan, and northern India. The Kushans were masters of trade. They controlled the crossroads of the world, and their cities were vibrant melting pots of Greek, Persian, Indian, and Chinese cultures. It was here that ideas, goods, and religions mingled and spread. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, in a world completely unknown to the Romans or the Han, another great civilization was on the rise in Mesoamerica. The city of Teotihuacan, near modern-day Mexico City, was beginning to grow into a massive urban center. It would soon become one of the most powerful and influential cities in the Americas, with its grand pyramids, like the Pyramid of the Sun, standing as testaments to its power long before the Aztecs arrived. So, the world of 100 CE was a place of stark contrasts. It was an age of immense empires, with incredible engineering and organizational feats. Yet life for the average person was short, difficult, and full of uncertainty. It was a time of groundbreaking technological innovation in the East, and overwhelming military power in the West. You had opulent palaces and crowded, dirty slums. It was a world connected by trade, yet separated by vast, unexplored oceans. These great civilizations, with their unique strengths and weaknesses, their innovations and their social structures, were laying the foundations for the next 2,000 years of human history. The world we live in today was forged in the successes and struggles of these ancient peoples. Thanks for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found this fascinating, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into our shared past. See you in the next one.